Welcome to the Everyday is Saturday podcast, the #1 motivation show on the planet.
No more Mondays for you. It's time to make every day Saturday. Boom!
This is the podcast where we help you to accept who you are, not where you are.
On the roller coaster of life, you know we only sit in the front seat, champion. So make sure you are fastened and tight. Let's go!
Tired of feeling run down all the time during the week? We can help you make every day feel like it's a Saturday.
Let's go. Pack your bags. It's time to leave Averageville.
Introducing the man who thinks abnormal stands for above normal.
When you're on fire, people will travel from miles around to watch you burn, baby. We are fired up.
The host of the Everyday is Saturday show, Sam Crowley.
Hello, champion, and welcome back to the Everyday is Saturday podcast. My name's Sam Crowley, host of the show, founder of everydaysaturday.com, and, of course, the #1 motivational podcast on the planet. 226 countries. Are you kidding me? 20 million downloads. Unbelievable. How did it all start? With a message. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Not about me. I want to talk about you. There's a difference between I would like to or I must. I absolutely must do this. And that's where a lot of people are. So at least the ones I speak with. You know, my call to action is always to book a call with me. Why? So you can sell me coaching? No, so I can help you get this message out. What are you going to do? Just go to the grave with this thing? You know you've got a passion. You know you would love to get out there. You know you would love to create your own virtual stage, if not to speak to 1,000 people, but to speak to one person. Do you not understand that there is somebody right now, all the way across the world, that is dying to hear your message? Not some filtered, sanitized message they can find on YouTube or any other podcast or anything like that. Your message. That's the part that you really need to understand. When it turns from I'd like to I must, it's when you start to understand that there is an entire audience out there waiting for you and your message. And you're sitting around, having a cup of coffee, getting on Facebook, seeing what all the neighbors are doing or what people in your town are doing. Or, look at what that successful influencer is. Why are you so consumed with living somebody else's life? Is it because you don't think yours is as valuable? Boy, that hits home, doesn't it? The only reason I'm saying all this is because that's the way I used to think. Well, who'd want to hear this stupid message about every day being like a Saturday? You know, it sounds good to me, but I know why I wanted to do it, because I was a dad, had 3 kids at the time, under the age of 5. My dad left when I was a kid. I thought it'd be pretty cool to try to change generational curses. Seems pretty powerful, doesn't it? Do I really need permission to do that? No. I just picked up a microphone. Hell, I didn't even have a microphone. I just picked up my laptop computer, which had a built-in mic, which sounded like a drive-through, you know, when you're ordering welcome to the Everyday Saturday podcast. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. I don't know what I was doing, but I knew why I was doing it, because I knew that if one person got that message, I was good. I was totally good with that. I had no attachment to the outcome. I wasn't wondering, well, geez, I mean, could I speak? How many times is this going to get downloaded? Is it even worth it? What do you mean, is it even worth it? Of course it's. I'm talking a former version of myself. That's, by the way, grab a pen and paper, stop this podcast right now, and write this next sentence down. Because when you understand this, there will be no procrastination. All right, you're not going to sit around willy-nilly like most people, scrolling social media, or going to a job you hate, or just living life, or letting life live you. You're going to understand this concept. All right, you ready? Grab the pen and paper. You are speaking to the younger version of yourself. That's it. Write that down, circle it, highlight it, come back to it, read it again. Understand that. All right, you're not here to speak to everybody. You are speaking to the younger version of yourself, coaching that person to get through the obstacles that you have already jumped over. All right. Do you have life figured out? Are you a multimillionaire? How many cars do you have? Vacation home? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All they want to know is, can you help me? And even that's one step too far. You know what they want to know before, can you help me? Do you even understand what's going on in my life? Do you understand I've had addictions? Do you understand I had anxiety? Do you understand? I've been stressed out. I had no freedom. I was overweight. My child, I'm dealing with teenagers. How do I even navigate this field? I mean, there is 1,000 different messages out there. Most people's problem is they think they got to solve them all. No. Get into the micro area of this and coach the younger version of yourself of how you were able to navigate those waters as only you did. Nobody else did it. You did this, all right? It wasn't a team of people. It wasn't a group of people. You didn't have a branding agency. You didn't have all these therapists accompanying you every single day. You were able to somehow solve a problem. And that's all you got to know. But when it turns into I'd like to, I can't even be in the same room with people who have that conversation. Like, yeah, I would like to. Well, great. Boy, that's really inspiring. Wow. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to create an entire presentation and speak for 90 minutes on the absolute power of the phrase, I would like to. And then you know what? I think I'm going to add another word that's really powerful to the end of that sentence. I'm going to put the word but on there because that's really going to get people jacked up. That is going to cause people to get moving. I would like to, but... And then we'll just put a little, if you can envision a PowerPoint slide, all right, after that word but, we're just going to fill in the blank. We're going to leave that next space blank. And on top of that, people can put in their most favorite excuse at the time. You know, they can just fill it in. How inspirational would that be? Wow. I would really love to go to a 3-day seminar and hear average individuals who followed the herd their entire life, living in Averageville, suffering from mediocrity, worrying what other people think about them, and I would just love to hear them just riddle with excuses, man. I would like to, but listen, let me just give you the straight talk. You may be thinking, dude, you're 7 minutes in. This is about as straight of a talk. It is. It's the only way I know how to communicate. Love it or not, doesn't matter. I'm coaching the younger version of Sam Crowley. The guy from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, insecure, full of pride, ego got bruised every time somebody didn't like me or like what I did, always kept one eye open on what people were thinking about me, saying about me, trapped in a mental prison. Absolutely trapped in a mental prison. And guess who had the key? Guess where I went to go get the key to be released? I went to the warden. Yeah, myself. I had the key the entire time. The entire time. I could have released myself from this mental prison at the age of 19. Nope, couldn't do that. I could have released myself at the age of 25. Nope, couldn't do that. Still fat, drinking, following the herd, party after party, chasing girls, all of that. I discovered at the age of 37, and I know it took a while, excuse me, some people are 57, 60, it doesn't matter when, what matters is that you actually do it. And I stopped thinking in terms of, I would like to in terms of, I must change generational curses within my family. If it's going to be, it is up to me. It ain't anybody else's problem but mine, you know? It's nobody else's issue but you've got to solve this, and it's got to turn into, I must do it. It's got to be that powerful. It's got to be emotional. Look, man, I was in tears, and I'm not a guy that cries. You know what's funny? Is I don't think my daughters have ever seen me cry. And I know a therapist will say, oh, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad. It doesn't matter to me. It's just, I'm telling you, that's my makeup. I've got a rhino skin. It's the way I was able to grow up, all right, in the environment that I was in. I just did not allow things to penetrate me. Right, wrong, or indifferent, it was my defense mechanism. And I know there's a whole therapy session on that. I'm sure somebody listening could dissect that. Doesn't matter. I took that into my 30s, my 40s, my 50s. I always wanted my daughters to see a strong individual, a strong father figure in their life. You know why? Because I never had one, all right? So for me, it's funny. I was going to say this part. I'll watch a Hallmark movie with my wife, and these things, they're so dumb. The script is the same. Small town girl or big city girl leaves, meets a veterinarian in a small town up in New England, and hasn't seen him since high school. Oh, Johnny, I can't believe we happened to run into each other on the street. You know my parent, and that's the thing. And at the end, I'll start crying because some stupid thing happened and my wife's like, what is wrong with you? I don't know. I don't even cry when I should. Why am I crying at the end of a Hallmark movie? These things are so dumb. But anyway, let me get back to the message. This has to be emotional for you. This has to move you. And if it doesn't move you, then it ain't worth talking about. So throw away all those other things that you think other people want you to say and go really into how you would speak to the younger version of yourself. Or in a situation where you found yourself that you navigated out and you got from point A, that was difficult, to point B, which was not as difficult. Did you figure out life? Nope. You went from a situation that was very difficult to a situation that was not as difficult. Can you do that? And can you get excited about that and turn it from I would like to I must? And when you get to that level of I must, that's when you go to my calendar. Because now you are the ideal, perfect version of the $1 Million Messenger that I would love to work with. Because I know at that point, you're ready and you're going to be on fire and people will travel from miles around to watch you burn, baby. When you're ready, when you go from I must do this, go to launchwithsam.com. All right, let's go. Have the best day ever. And that's a wrap. Another Everyday Saturday podcast in the books. Thanks so much for listening. Would you do your boy a favor? Would you get on iTunes or wherever you listen to the Everyday Saturday podcast and leave a rating for the show? It helps amazing people like you find the show faster. And that's what I'm looking for, amazing people like you. Hey, I'm always hanging out on the interwebs. You can check me out on Instagram at EverydayIsSaturday. Let me know you're listening to the show. Love hearing from fans of the Everyday Saturday podcast. And one last thing, when you're ready to launch, get on my calendar, go to launchwithsam.com. You and I are going to work together to set rocket fuel to your dream. Are you ready? Let's do it. I'll see you on the next Everyday is Saturday podcast.